Hey nail bosses, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl. I know it's been a minute, but I'm finally getting some time to doing my nails, y'all, because I barely do my nails. I be so busy, but my husband and I were taking wedding invitations this past weekend, and so I was not about to put no press-ons on again like I have been. So I decided to do a set of acrylic nails. So of course, the first thing that I'm doing is just going in and trimming down my natural nails. And after that, I'm going in and just pushing back the cuticles. This is going to expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting. And as always, you can use any type of cuticle pusher, whether it's metal, plastic, or wood, as long as you can disinfect it or discard of it after you're done using it. Next, we're going in with the 180 sanding band, and I'm using my Macart Flawless Pro E-File, which I absolutely love. And I'm only using it at about 5,000 RPMs because when we're doing this, the goal is just to remove the shine. We don't want to thin down the nails. We're literally just wanting to remove the shine because if we don't, we are going to get lifting. So as you guys can see, I have the drill bit really flat against my nail and just going all around the cuticle first and then just following the rest of the nail. And then I also go ahead and just follow the free edge of my nail. That way I don't have to go in with a hand file. I can save just a little bit of time there. But again, just going in and removing all of the shine. Okay, so I finished doing my left hand, so I'm going to show you a little bit of what it's like doing my right hand with my left hand since I am right-handed. And really everything is the exact same way. Of course, I just work a little bit slower, but you're basically doing the exact same thing, just going around that cuticle and then removing the shine from the rest of the nail as well. And I am right-handed, so again, it just takes me a little bit longer. And then after I finish removing the shine from the natural nail, I'm just going in with a pair of nippers and I'm just trimming up my cuticle area. I did have quite a bit of dead skin, so just going in and getting rid of that. Alrighty, so up next, I'm gonna go in and apply the nail tips. Lately, I've been liking like an almond shape, so I'm gonna go in with my almond shape nail tips, and I'm gonna be, of course, first sizing them to make sure that we have the correct size nail tips. Just a reminder that whenever you're sizing your nails, you wanna make sure that the nail tip fits exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be too big or too small. And if you find one that kind of fits, but there's like a little tiny gap on the side, just go up a size and just file it down a little bit on the size to make it fit perfectly. Because if you go in with the one that's a little too small, eventually it's going to want to come back up, and most likely it's either going to break off or cause lifting. So again, make sure that those nail tips fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. Of course, all of these products that I'm using are available on my website, so I'll be sure to leave a link down below with literally every single product that I use, so you guys can just easily go through the list and select what you're interested in. So after we have all of the correct size tips, I'm going to go in with my KDS glue. Just apply it on the edge of the nail tip. Make sure that I place it on my nail really straight. Just hold it down for literally a few seconds, and that is it. So we're going to go ahead and do that on all of the nails, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, so we have the nails on. As you guys can see, these are a pretty nice length, not too long or short, but they are a little bit longer than I want. So I'm just going in with my straight edge nail clipper and I'm just trimming them down. I do also want them more of an almond shape and not so much stiletto. So that's why I'm also trimming them on the sides. But again, this is my straight edge nail clipper and this is also available on my website. But after we finish trimming down the nails to my desired length, we're going to go in and of course measure them against the other hand to make sure that all of our nails are siblings and not cousins and that they're all the exact same size. After that, we're going in with my 80/80 hand file and we're just going to file them or reshape them to make them into that almond shape that we want. So as you guys can see, I'm just following the sides and then just rounding out the tip of the nail to make it more of that roundish shape instead of that pointy stiletto shape. So since these nail tips are already pre-shaped, we just really have to go in and redefine that shape, and it's really not too much that goes into it. Again, this is my 80/80 hand file, and just a reminder that when it comes to your hand files, the number, you'll always find a number on your hand files. The higher the number, the more fine the hand file is going to be, and the lower the number, the more coarse the hand files are going to be. Alrighty, so once again, I'm going to show you a little bit of how I would do it with my left hand. So I just hold my file really straight and I kind of just move my right hand up and down against the hand file because I'm not really able to just go in and do that same file movement with my left hand like I am with my right hand. Again, because I am right-handed. So like I said earlier, it's really just all about finding those comfortable positions to work in when you're using your less dominant hand. So after we're finished reshaping all of the nails, I'm just going back in with my e-file and just blending those nail tips right in the middle. This is just going to make sure that the acrylic lays on the nail really nice and smoothly and evenly. And even though these nails are not like super thick or anything in the center, I still like to just go in there and do this in case any little like corner or anything is lifting. We can just file that right off, and again, we don't have any like little lumps or anything. And during this process, I'm using my e-file at about 8,000 RPMs. Now, just a reminder that you want to use your e-file at a speed that you feel comfortable using it at. But next, we're going to go in with our products. So I'm using my monomer, my NC acrylic powder in the shade Real Nude, which is one of my favorites. And then I'm also using my Get Nail 32 Odor Outs, which basically just minimize and give the smell of the monomer a more pleasant smell. So it's not going to just get rid of the smell completely. It's just going to give it a more pleasant smell. After that, we went in with our NC dehydrator. And then now going in with the primer. Again, all of these products are available on my website, y'all. Isn't it so crazy? Like literally before, I used to use everybody and their mama's products, and now for the most part, most of the products that I use are mine. Definitely a very heartfelt moment, I guess I could say, like very proud moment. But as always, I'm going to be doing my 4-ball method application, which means that I go in with my first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet, and just very gently patting it down to just kind of distribute that product just all over the nail tip. Again, just doing a very slight patting motion. I don't know if you guys seen or if I mentioned it, but this is my number 14 acrylic brush, which I absolutely love. And just a reminder that when you're doing acrylic nails, you want to make sure that for one, you're using good quality acrylic powder and monomer, but your acrylic brush also will play a huge role on how your acrylic goes onto the nail. So make sure that you keep that in mind. You don't want to buy the cheapest brush that you find out there, because all of the product will get stuck in your brush literally after the first few beads that you pick up. But next we're going in with the second bead, so placing it right behind that first one. Same thing, just very gently patting it down to make sure that it spreads out throughout the nail. And then once we have it nice and even, we're just going to go ahead and brush that down. And of course, if we get any product on the skin, just immediately wiping it off to make sure that it doesn't dry up, because then it could cause lifting. So as you guys see right here, I'm just kind of feathering the acrylic down to make sure everything is very nice and smooth. But when you're brushing, you want to make sure that you're really gentle. Like I said, it's really just like a feathering motion, because I'm just making sure that everything is just well blended and nice and even. After that, we're going in with the bead closer to the cuticle area. I'm letting the acrylic just set a little on my brush before I apply it. I'm very gently pushing it closer to the cuticle area, get it as close as I can, but without getting it on the actual skin, because again, if it does and it dries, it's going to cause lifting. But as you guys see, or as you guys can see, the way that I apply the acrylic with my 4-ball method, it automatically creates that nice thickness at the tip, a nice apex, which is what's most important when doing acrylic nails, because if you have really thin nails with no apex, literally the first time you bump your nail on anything, or putting your jeans on, or doing something that requires you to use your nails or something, like, they're gonna break off, y'all, if you don't have that nice structure. But lastly, I'm going in with that 4th bead, and that's really just gonna help us strengthen our apex even more. So just a reminder also that if you're doing the 4-ball method or 3-ball method, make sure that you're looking at your nail as you're working. And if you feel like, okay, you know, like they're thick enough, they're nice enough, they have a nice apex, nice thickness at the nail, at the tip, sorry, I can't talk, y'all, you don't have to go in with, you know, the 4th or the 3rd, because you might have went in with a pretty large, like, size bead on your 1st or 2nd bead. So just keep that in mind, and don't think that just because it's a 4-ball method that you have to go in with 4. Or also, you know, just the opposite, like, don't feel like that because it's 4 that you only can use 4, because if you still feel like your nail is too thin, or you have a little dip that you need to fill in, you can absolutely go in with more products. So just make sure you keep that in mind. But now we're moving on to the next nail. Again, same thing, placing that first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet, patting the acrylic down and just guiding it down to the tip, and that's what's going to give our nail tip its strength. After that, we're just going in and making sure everything is nice and smooth. We're wiping the sides down to make sure that no product is underneath the nail, and also making sure that the acrylic does not take away from our shape. That way at the end, we can just go in and just give it a gentle refile to reshape the nails and not have to do too much filing. Next, same thing, going in and placing that next bead right behind that first one. And same thing, just very gently patting to make sure that the acrylic goes exactly where we need it to go, which is right in the center, and then just blending it with the bead that we already had there. Alrighty, so next we're gonna go in with the third bead, so placing that closer to the cuticle area. And then also in this video, I did make sure that you're able to see the way that I'm dipping my brush into my monomer and then into my polymer. That way you guys can get a better view. But I do have a video specifically talking about the liquid to powder ratio and knowing how much product to pick up or how much to wipe your brush off on the liquid. So definitely keep that in mind if you are having issues with that, or if you're having issues with your acrylic being too runny or too dry. That is definitely one of the first videos that you should check out when considering doing nails, because you should be able to pick up a nice size consistent bead before you start actually doing nails. So I'll be sure to link it down below so you guys can go check it out. But during this, like whenever I'm doing the 4-ball method, for the most part I'm using about medium-sized beads to small-sized beads. So when I dip my brush into my monomer, I wipe my brush off halfway to where my, like literally when I take my brush out, it's not dripping or anything. Like I literally know how much product is in my brush. As you guys see there, I brushed it halfway, and then I do 3 taps into my monomer. I let the acrylic set on my brush for a few seconds. As you guys can see, it turns shiny, and then I place it on the nail, and then I start moving it around. So again, I'll be sure to leave that video link down below so you guys can go check it out, because if you're having that problem with your consistency, that video definitely will help. Alrighty, y'all. So we did 3 nails. I didn't want to board y'all with the same process over and over and over again. So we're going to go ahead and skip to the next part. But this is what the nails look like after the acrylic application. As you guys can see, they're all really nice and smooth. So we really won't have to do too much work on the next few steps. So the first thing you do after the acrylic application is just go in and reshape your nails. Because again, after you apply the acrylic, it does take away from your shape just a little bit. So we just have to go in that we just have to make sure that we go in and redefine our shape. So after we finish reshaping the nails, we're going to go in with our drill, and we're going to go in and just file all of the nails. And again, since my nails are already nice and smooth, I always just focus around my cuticle area first, because we have to make sure that we seal that acrylic around that cuticle really well to make sure that we prevent any lifting. Because if you have any little gap, y'all, between that natural nail and the acrylic, any water, any lotion, anything liquid that you touch could possibly get underneath your nails, and they will lift, or you could possibly get a greenie, and we don't like those. So you want to make sure that, again, you're filing around that cuticle area really well. As you guys can see, I'm going in with like the tip of the drill bit, and then on the rest of the nail, I make sure that I hold my drill bit really nice and flat against the nail, because even though we're focusing around the cuticle area, we still just want to make sure that everything is nice and even. So I still go in and file the entire nail, but again, just going from the right side all the way over to the left side and just going back and forth. And the reason why I go back and forth and steady pick up my drill bit is because if you were to leave your drill bit just sitting in one spot without moving it up or like racing it off the nail, it will cause friction, and it's going to cause your client's nail to burn, and it's definitely not a good feeling. I've done it to myself a few times. I've had other people that did my nails do it to me, and it literally makes you jump back. So just keep that in mind. Again, keep your drill moving at all times, and then also, again, just make sure that you're using your e-file at a speed that you feel comfortable using it at. I was using it at about 10,000 RPMs when I was filing the nails. But after we finish filing, we're just going in and just buffing the nails. This is going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. So you definitely do not want to skip this step. But after we finish buffing, I'm just going to just dust my nails off, and then I'm going to wash them off, and we can move on to the next part. Alrighty, so after my nails are nice and clean, I'm just going in with my Macart gel top coat. I do have my NC gel top coat, but y'all, I could not find it, and I was in a rush because like I said, these nails were for my my husband and I took invitation pictures for our wedding invitations, because if y'all know, we did get married last September, but we'll be having our reception this year. So that's what we were doing, but I just wanted to keep it simple. I was wearing all black, and my husband was wearing a black and like green and black tuxedo or suit, and so I wanted to keep it like in the nudes family, which is why I just did the real nude acrylic, because it's really just clean looking and sleek. So but I did want to add some bling to kind of match him, so just went in with one of my luxury charms with the emerald green in the center, and then I just did some bling around it, and of course going in with my wax pencil, and I used my hard gel to apply them. But here is the final look, y'all. They absolutely turned out so pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.